Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video here on my Music Basics series. So these videos are meant to be kind of short and get you started on some of these basic music items, but they're also meant to give you a jump start if you haven't been working in music before. Today we're going to be talking about time signatures. Time signatures are a really important part of music because we will never know how to count music unless we give it some kind of structure. Music is based on two elements. We have pitches, aka notes, high and low, and then we have rhythms. And the only way that we can structure a rhythm is to give it some kind of unit to measure it by, which is what the time signature does. To understand a time signature, there's a couple of things we need to think about. The first one is the concept of a beat. What is a beat? A beat is the thing that you feel when you're listening to the music. When you start tapping your foot and you start grooving to the music, that's the beat. The beat is natural and it has no actual scientific anything. It's just the energy that is projected by the music. And different types of music project different kinds of beats. Once we understand what a beat is, then we can start measuring it out, which is where the term a measure or a bar comes from. A measure is simply a grouping of beats, and the grouping can be big, it can be small, it can be fast, it can be slow, but it's a way of kind of taking these musical ideas and putting them into a box. And just like in a sentence, we like to think about sentences of having capital letters, ending with a period, and so on and so forth. So a measure of music is the same concept. It basically means we are going to take the music and we are going to divvy it up into different pieces. Once we have the concept of a bar and we have the concept of a beat, then we can assign those actual mathematical units. Now, the important thing to remember in music is we only deal in ratios, aka fractions. Originally, when music was developed, they had a thing called a whole. And then when they wanted to go twice as fast, they took a whole and they made it a half. And then when we wanted to go faster, they took a half and made a quarter, and so on and so forth. And that's where the names of these notes come from. A whole note can be divided in half to make half notes, and you can divide half notes in half to make quarter notes, which by definition means there's 4 quarter notes per whole note, there's 2 half notes per whole note, and by that logic there would be 2 eighth notes in 1 quarter note, or 4 eighth notes in 1 half note. And you can see it just kind of spreads out because we're basically always dividing the music into groups of 2, which is a very important concept here in music. So whenever we look at a time signature, we're met with 2 numbers. So if we look at my worksheet here, you'll see in 4/4 time we have a top number and a bottom number. The top number indicates the number of beats in the measure, and it can be anything. So if there's a 4 there, there's 4 beats. On the 3/4, there's 3 beats. 2/2, 2 beats, and so on and so forth. The bottom number is where it gets a little bit tricky. The bottom number is what I like to call the type, or it's the unit of the beat. What does that mean? Well, in 4/4 time, that means quarter notes get the beat because a quarter note would be 1/4, right? And in 2/2 times, that means a half note would get the beat because it's 2 half notes. Now, this can seem really, really complex, but it doesn't really need to be. All we have to remember is the ratios, and we have to remember our fractions. So let's take an example here, very, very simple. And what we're going to do is we are going to add a measure of music to our example here. So if I was to draw 2 bar lines, I could then add 4 quarter notes because that's what the music says I can have in 4/4 time. Now, with 4 quarter notes in this bar, that means that the very first note is going to start on the first beat. And then the very last quarter note would be on the 4th beat. Now, each beat has a little bit of length on it, and we'll talk about this more when we talk about rhythm specifically. But what's most important to realize about a time signature is it sets a limit on this measure. So this measure with 4 quarter notes cannot have any other notes in it because it's at its limit. 4 quarter notes is the total max. If I was to change this over to, say, half notes, 1 half note is the same as 2 quarter notes. So that means I can't get any more notes in this measure than the 1 half note and the 2 quarter notes, because that's the equivalency of 4 beats. And so what a time signature does is it tells us what kind of beat we're feeling, it tells us how many there are, and it sets a hard limit. And this limit cannot be broken. We cannot put more notes in a measure than the time signature will allow, period. Now, this is true in 3/4 time. All this would mean in 3/4 time is that we could only get 3 quarter notes in one measure instead of 4. And in 2/2 time, which mathematically is the same as 4/4, we can get 2 half notes, or we could get 4 quarter notes. But either way, we can't get more, and we also can't get less. A measure must always be full of either notes or rests. Now, time signatures also give us another element of our music, which it gives us the kind of beat we feel. 4/4 time, which is the most common time, is what you're going to have in rock and roll. It's what you're going to have most of the time in jazz and swing. It's going to be there in hip hop and other musics. And it's that steady driving 4 quarter notes. Boom, boom, chaka, doo, chaka, boom, chaka. 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be 4/4 time. March music. Bum, 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 bum. And so that's a really common time signature. But if we want the music to feel differently, if we give it a different time signature, it will make the beats feel different. For example, a waltz is in 3/4 time. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, ba da dee da da da, dee 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 dee. And so that would be a 3/4 feel or a 3 feel. And then finally, down here on the bottom, we have 9/8, which is what we would call a compound meter. Now, meter and time signature, they mean the same thing, but what do we mean by compound? Well, a simple meter, like 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, means that we divide each note in half. So we take a whole note, we make half notes, we take half notes, we make quarter notes. But in a compound meter, we're going to take the number of beats in the measure and we're going to break it into groups of 3. So if I go down here to this 9/8, instead of just writing 9/8 notes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the 8th notes in groups of 3. And one beat in 9/8 is actually going to be represented by this group of 3 notes instead of group of 2 notes. And that gives it a different feel. And it gives it a totally different kind of feel. This also means that a standard quarter note is not good enough. We're going to have a dotted quarter note, which we'll talk about more later, to represent one beat. So again, the most important thing to take away with time signatures is the top number represents the number of beats in the bar. The bottom number represents what kind of note gets the beat. So that means a quarter note would be a 4, a half note is a 2, an 8 is an 8th note, a 1 would be a whole note if you wanted it, and so on and so forth. And then we can never have more or less beats than are listed in the time signature. So in 4/4 time, we always have to have the equivalency of 4 quarter notes, period. And finally, as a bonus, we have the difference between a simple meter and a compound meter, sometimes known as duple, or 2, and triple, aka 3, which is in a duple or simple meter, we feel things in halves. Dun, 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 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And then in a compound meter, we feel things in 3. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And so those are different ways of making the music feel differently and notating it so the musicians understand what it is you're trying to get out of them. Thanks so much for watching the video. Again, if you are enjoying the content or if you want to see these videos later, please like and subscribe so that you know how to find them. Again, these are videos that are associated with my courses here at Spokane Falls Community College. So if you're ever looking for more information, don't hesitate to reach out. And thanks so much for watching.